Walk around the compound, we'll see some tigers. Hey YouTubers, this is gonna be an instruction video on how to fight a ghost tiger. They're a little bit higher in level, so you want to make sure that you're prepared before you go and face them. I'm wearing a ring. I'm wearing my Ring of Ascension, which is giving me a mana buff, and that will allow me to cast a pulsed protein wave. And you have to be a level 42 meat mage to be able to cast this spell. So let's go ahead and we're gonna execute right now. Okay, that was, yeah, there you go. It works. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. It's ghost tiger. Proteins, brah. Proteins. Oh my gosh. My light is on. Why is my light on? I guess it's not really gonna affect terribly too much. Oh, but it kind of caught me off guard because now I've got this light shining in my face and I'm like, what are you doing on? Oh well. Hello all you big cat lovers out there. It's me, Derek, again. Oh my gosh, what are the odds that you're on the BigCatDerek YouTube channel and then the person that's putting on the videos happens to be a guy named Derek? Who'da thunk it? But yes, it's me, Derek, again, and welcome to another wonderful, amazing, nerderific walk around the compound webcast. Mr. Champers. Hello. How are you? Drinking snuffle. Drinking a sniffle. Okay. Well, that first little part, I was giving some additional meat, some additional proteins over to Mr. Rascal here. Because the leg that he was fed earlier was a little bit light. Little bit light. Yes, it was. I don't have anything more, bud. Yeah, I know. That's all I'm good for, isn't it? Bringing proteins. Proteins. So, with that, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Okay? Everyone got their privilege checked? Good. Because we just got done feeding. All right? We just got done feeding. And that means that there is going to be very identifiable carcass parts. Legs, torsos, heads from cows, horses, stuff like that. Just want you to be aware. There are proteins afoot. Like that. Yeah. Bear in mind, all of our proteins come generously donated from local ranchers. If these animals are not already dead from natural causes, and there could be a wide variety of natural causes, certain ailments, sometimes they get old, they're losing weight, they have heat stroke, maybe cancers, or possibly broken legs, or even broken necks and various injuries. They will either die on their own accord or they get brought over here to be euthanized. And remember, euthanize, the word euthanize is Greek, which simply means good death. Sometimes people, they think it's a misnomer, or they don't understand the meaning. They think that euthanize means chemical injection. No, that's chemical euthanasia, but the general term euthanasia means good death. That's what that is. Oh, and the way that we do that is via gunshot. If they're not already dead, we will put the animals down via gunshot. The guns that I use a 30-30 rifle, or I use a 410 revolver, which means I can use 410 shells. I generally like to use like home defense type things because they have a lot of like little pellets and big pellets, and then also blasting caps, like cylindrical caps on the top of the actual ammunition shell. That causes a lot of massive instant brain trauma, which is instant lights out. Keep in mind, when you shoot them and you shoot them right, they're dead before they even hit the ground. And it's messy, and it's dramatic, and it's violent, but it's quick, and it's painless. Yo. And it goes to feed these guys. And I've euthanized a lot. I've euthanized a lot of animals. I mean, I average, sometimes between like 2 and 6 livestock animals that I have to personally put down a week. Sometimes more. Oh, flop. Big flop. That was a big flop. And I take that job very seriously. I take the job of ensuring that the animals, when they do come in here, that they're given absolute dignity and respect, making sure that they don't have, making sure that they have as little stressful of an experience as possible. I don't want them ever thinking or suspecting that there's something wrong or that there's something up. So a lot of times, like, with horses and stuff like that, I mean, yeah, I go up and I talk to them. I'll try to calm them down. I'll try to get them to relax, so that their last moments are more cozy. You know what I'm saying? Wow, I actually wasn't expecting to talk about all this stuff, but it's one of those things where, okay, there's going to be meat. You have to do a meat disclaimer. Okay, now you have to do a disclaimer about where the meat comes from. Okay, now let's go ahead and just start talking about the actual process of what goes into that. So it's a little bit, but it's good. That's fine. It's just interesting how sometimes I'm not expecting the topics to go into the into the directions that they do, but they just sometimes will just go. What? I'm sorry. Did I get too close to your proteins? Too close to your proteins, bruh? Too close to your proteins, bruh. And since we live in, and a lot of times, people, they'll ask, is it a good idea to feed animals that, maybe they died of sickness? Is that an okay thing to feed to, the lions and tigers? And don't think that we'll take just anything. I mean, if there's animals that they have, like you'll get cows that get pneumonia and then they die, and they've just got fluid just everywhere. You cut into them, and then they've just got fluid all over the place, and fluid in their extremities and in their innards and their cavities, and it's drippy and mucousy, and it's just a lot of that stuff. It just gets kind of gross and messy, and then it's a whole part of the whole infection process, and it's just like, we don't even want to deal with it. So we would just opt to not, feed stuff like that. So we definitely have, we do employ some standards as far as this stuff. We don't just like something that's all mangled and bloated and dripping with pus on the back of someone's pickup truck, and we're like, all right, just unload it. We certainly don't do that. We want to make sure that what the kitties are eating is safe and good and high quality. But with that said, you have to keep in mind that these animals out in the wild, they're suited. They are suited specifically to go after the young animals in the herd, the old animals in the herd. the injured animals in the herd, the weak, the sick. They're biologically suited to go and target the animals that are going to be easy marks, the ones that are going to be easy to kill. So their systems are also suited to be able to process, to ingest a lot of different types of maladies, I guess you could say. So it's, we don't get too worried about things, but you know, if stuff is getting kind of icky, yeah, I mean, we either don't accept it or we'll toss it out. So there you go. Blah, blah, you know, nah. Oh, excuse me, so sorry. So sorry. Hi. What are you doing over there? I see you, mister. I see you, boom, boom. How could anyone be Team Tigis? I mean, look at just how, I mean, really, it just let's all be honest. Let's all be honest. I mean, as far as tigers are concerned, these two, they are the ugliest. The ugliest, most unfortunate looking tigers, I think, pretty much in the world. I mean, it's faces only a mother could love. A drunk mother who is also blind. So yeah, I mean, totally hashtag Team BBs. Hashtag Team BBs. I mean, look at it, he's lazy. He's not even really trying. He thinks he's cute. Oh, that's the other sad part, is that they snuffle as if they are actually cute. But they're ugly. Someone has to tell you, Boom. Someone has to tell you. You just thought you're an ugly little boy. Just you next to Arali and Zubiri are just they're little Adonises. And you're dirty little Prometheuses down in the pits of Hades trying to invent fire. And I'm sure that Prometheus was not all of that attractive. I'm trying to do Greek mythology references. How are you? Is everyone liking them? There's probably going to be like 3 people who are commenting like, I really liked him when he started doing the Greek mythology references. This the 3 Greek mythology nerds, you know, amongst the pride, who are like, ooh! Do jokes about Medusa. No. Who's that snake-headed lady? Turning guys into stone. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that, you know, but this is and it's, ugh, yuck. I mean, this is the thing, like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. I'm like, probably, I can feel my subscriber count going down. Like, with every passing second that I have Boomer and Slade on screen, I can just feel it. Just the pew down the tubes. Pew, subscriber count. Going down for the count. Oh, see you in the comment section. But yeah, there are some proteins out and about. Proteins out and about, and we live in ranch land, so the supply is not all that sparse. There's a lot of people who are out here in rural Texas raising cattle, raising horses, and they're doing it pretty much, for the most part, what a lot of people would consider more. Oh goodness, sorry bud. Okay, I'll leave you alone. Yeah, he's just like, oh, protein, seriously, I've told you. How many times do I have to tell you about my proteins? And one thing, because it's ranchland, and people, you'll find that a lot of people, they do grow their livestock and they do herd their livestock on large open swaths of land, in much of the way that some people would consider, you know, free range type stuff, and that's good. That's good. I definitely I like to support more and even for like human consumption type stuff. Meat. Hi Tess, how are you? You were giving a little bit of a crazy look there, just a teeny bit of a crazy look. Oh, they've got their carcass over there. Hi Mita Pita. They've got their carcass. You can see inside of their carcass that they've already someone already chomped a nice little notch, like a bowl into it. There you go. Oh, trigger warning webcast. Oh, goodness gracious. I go from carnage to Dorbs so quickly. Oh, yeah. It's, you know, it's kind of a circus sideshow kind of atmosphere when you're trying. It's kind of creepy. I will admit that the content can be a little bit creepy when you're trying to mix you know, like blood and savagery and violence and concepts about death with like, oh my gosh, Snuffles, and this is so adorable. Like, I get it. It's a little bit, it's different. It's definitely not, it's for a niche audience in some ways. I think that a lot of people could appreciate, though, what it is that we're trying to accomplish here. But yeah, I definitely like more, you know, open fields and stuff like that, and clean water and you know, nutrient dense food that comes from more sustainable sources and stuff like that. I dig those types of things, and you know, I do believe in the concept of you know, hi, what? You have things to say? I do definitely, as far as meat producing animals are concerned, I mean, I certainly believe that, you know, the happier the animal, the better the quality of the meat that you're going to be getting. And I know that a lot of people are, you know, like, meat and things and stuff like that, and vegetarianism and veganism, which I don't knock that stuff. I really don't. Like, especially like when you're talking about things from an ethical perspective. I don't. I used to get kind of just like, oh, look at the vegans, but I don't. I get it. I really do. And there's a lot of things that make me question the practices. And also, it really goads me into wanting to try and find the most ethically harvested meat that I possibly can find. To eat. You can't have the words ethical and meat in the same sentences. So I mean, yeah, it's like your opinion, bro, but I understand that point too. You know, I really do, and I'm not trying to say that those people are entirely wrong, but as of right now, I still will consider myself an imbiber of meat products. When you start getting into a lot of that factory farming stuff, oh, that's where things get. Yeah. That's the thing. That's where cheap meat comes from. That's where you know, when you go and like, oh my gosh, this is only $1.17 a pound. Oh my, let's get a bunch. It's because a lot of times it comes from more like factory farming type operations, and you're talking about cramped conditions, and you're talking about the quality of food that the animals get is going to be considerably less nutrient dense. They're not getting as much sunlight. They're not having as much blood go to their extremities. And the nutrient quality of the animal, even though they're almost like artificially like boosting their weight, the actual nutrient quality and nutrient density of the meat is not that, it's not that great, it's not that good, as opposed to stuff that is, you know, raised with a little bit more. And I'm not talking about like purely organic stuff either, because that's another thing where people think you just have to go that completely organic with everything. That's not necessarily the case too. We can use science. We can use a little bit here and there. You know, like not everything that is modified or altered is inherently bad. You know, you want to make sure that you're doing your homework as far as some of that stuff is concerned. And I do understand, you know, some of the concerns that people have as far as like, you know, pumping antibiotics and how that affects, how that like slightly increases like some of the weights of some of the animals that you're getting, but then it'll also have the potential long-term effects of you know, jacking with people's immune systems if they eat too much of that stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of different things that you got to be thinking about with stuff you put in your body. Oh, hi. There's a farm, I think it's in Virginia, and it's run by a guy named Joel Salatine, and it's a place called Polyface Farm. You can Google it, Polyface Farm. It's over in Virginia, and he's got this really awesome kind of view as far as agriculture is concerned, and how to treat your animals, and you know, how to engage in sustainable agricultural practices, to smartly use your land to be able to have a more efficient farm. And yes, he's talking about raising chickens and pigs and cows and stuff like that. But they do a lot of oh, look at their spaghetti-o faces. Look at their sketty-o faces. He's got little sketty-o faces. Oh my gosh, it's so adorable. You little serial killers. Ah, look at how handsome they are. So much more handsome than those Tigis. So much more handsome and adorable. I mean, look at him. Ah, he's got blood on his whiskers. He's got blood on his whiskers. You can't get more cute than that. I'm sorry. It's just not possible. Anyway, they they don't have like this, you know, idea that you have to like slash and burn you know, huge swaths of forest. You can actually incorporate like forested area actually into pasture area, into grazing area, incorporating lots of electric fencing, and then strategically moving like your grazing areas like around to different regions and quadrants of your property, so that the animals are able to they're able to go around, and they're able to, like pigs are able to root in the dirt and look for roots and grubs and berries and stuff like that, and the cows are able to eat the starchy shoots of a lot of like the scrub brushes and stuff like that, and then the chickens are able to go through afterwards, and they're able to peck around, and they're able to express their inner chickendom. And then the end result is that you get this really high quality product that is derived from a much more ethical source. And he's also even talking about actually, I've read articles that he's done where he wants to try to enact laws where, because before, people used to be able to engage in a lot of slaughter practices at their property, and it's different state to state. And obviously, you know, we certainly are allowed to do some processing for animal consumption out here, but it's not all the same in all these other places. And he was talking about how the way it used to be was that you would actually engage in a lot of like, you know, from birth to slaughter. That would happen all at the farm. That would happen all at the family farm. And people had a little bit more of a vested interest, especially if you're talking about like a slightly larger farm. You know, they have a vested interest in like their name, in whatever it is that their notoriety is all built on. Or if they were going to be eating the animal themselves, they wanted to make sure that they were doing the job right, and that they were doing the job ethically, and doing the job, what's the word I'm looking for? Not strategically, but efficiently. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of different things that come around. I've read about some of the slaughter practices, and yes, I've seen the videos. I've seen the videos of just like psychopaths and sociopaths who work at slaughterhouses. I've seen the videos of abuse. I absolutely have, and it's terrible. I don't like that stuff at all. But that certainly is not, you know, the. Oh my goodness! Yeah, he's got a head. He's got some proteins, bruh. But I will say, like, sometimes people think that that's just like it's just the rampant way that things are done. And I mean, like, these days there's too much oversight now. There's too much oversight. There's too many cameras. There's too many inspectors. There are too many things. So things have been able to get a little bit more tightened up just within like the last like 10, 15, 20 years. A lot of it has to do with a lady called, her name is Temple Grandin, or Grandlin. She's also an autism advocate, and she actually just hated the slaughter practices in the United States and what she saw when she toured different, because I think that she works for the, does she work for the USDA? She's a doctor, something, and an author, just a person who's really smart, I guess I should say. Smarter than me, I will definitely say that. But she was very upset at the slaughter practices in the United States, and she wanted to enact change. And she got herself, and instead of just, you know, trying to yell at the system from the outside, she entered the system and tried to change it from within, and she was successful. She was able to invent techniques, and she was able to teach slaughterhouses about a lot of different things, and actually completely redesign the way that they're operated, the way that they're run, to maintain efficiency, but at the same time be cognizant of the well-being of the animals that are going through it. And here's the thing, like, some people might just be like, well, they think, they look at the content of this webcast and they're just gonna be like, I don't even want to hear about this stuff. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you eat meat, then you kind of have to. You kind of have to hear it, and then you have to really make a decision. I mean, like, I know how it's done. I've seen it. I see it every day. I see it all the time. You know, it's kind of how I live my life. So I have definitely got a very strong perspective on that specific topic. And as my knowledge base changes, so does my overarching opinions, my overarching ideology, you know, like where I feel like I should be consuming my stuff. 5 years ago, like, the stuff that I would be comfortable buying versus the stuff I'm more comfortable buying now, it's different. It's a different list of things, of items. And is it all 100% fail safe or foolproof? No, it's not. It's not. And then also, like, people make the argument like, well, a lot of that stuff that you're talking about, that's more ethically raised and ethically slaughtered and stuff like that, it's more expensive and it's cost prohibitive. And it's like, but that's not, if a bunch of people started buying that stuff, the cost would start going down. Yep. Meat. Trigger. Just letting you know. I know, this is going to be a difficult webcast. There's going to be some people who I don't think that they will be able to watch the whole thing all the way through. And I apologize for that, but I have to, you know, periodically, we got to talk about this stuff. We've got to talk about some of these truths. Hi, baby. That was kind of a squeak. That was a half-hearted squeak, Cassie. I'm very disappointed in your squeaking today. But yeah, we got to talk about that stuff, because if we don't, if I never talked about, like, you know, how we feed the cats, and if it was just like a hush, hush, and then, like, all of a sudden, like, people started coming and taking tours and then, like, taking pictures of, like, you know, cow heads, and they'd be like, what's this all about? And then, how come you never said anything? And it's like, ooh, that's part of it, but it's also, you know, I think that it's important to provide, you know, it's important to provide context and perspective, and not everything it fits in these tidy little boxes of black and white. There's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of there's a spectrum. There's a spectrum of morality and ethics that pretty much covers just everything and any topic. And a lot of this stuff, as far as meat, I think kind of falls under that spectrum. I know that I've been enjoying a lot of quinoa lately. Quinoa. Yeah, no. Quinoa, which is like a seed. It's like, I guess, what is it? One of the only complete proteins or something like that? One of the only complete proteins that's not a meat. That's kind of cool. So yeah. I think a lot of it also was from there's that documentary Cowspiracy. I haven't even watched it, so I can't really comment on it. But I did read some of the stuff on the website, and I saw some of the documentary trailers, and I do want to watch that documentary because it really does talk a lot about the livestock agricultural industry. That's like, when we're talking worldwide agricultural, livestock agricultural industry, and how it has some pretty significant effects on ecosystems and conservation, and how it actually probably is one of the most impactful and calamitous industries to the environment, even more so than like hydraulic fracking. Because basically what you're doing is you're talking about just massive amounts of water has to go to livestock operations. You're talking about massive amounts of waste, especially with factory farming, massive amounts of waste that gets aggregated and accumulated in one area. And oftentimes it runs off into water systems, which makes its way into the ocean. And then there's like a thing called like ocean dead zones, where there's like so much like chemicals from livestock waste, poo, that it kills everything inside the water. That's crazy. That's crazy. There's like big dead zones in various parts of the ocean that can be directly correlated to that. Most of the habitat loss that you're talking about in the Amazon rainforest in sub-Saharan Africa, absolutely, from poorly managed agricultural practices. A lot of slash and burn. The biggest the biggest thing that kills wild animals, it's not poaching, it's not exotic animal trade. Even though like some animals, you might make the case for rhinos right now because they're really getting. And actually, I have to kind of correct myself. I read something today. I know that I said a lot of things about Chinese medicine. From what I understand, one of the highest consumers is actually the Vietnamese. The Vietnamese, like the growing population of Vietnamese yuppies who are using ground up rhino horn as status symbols. So. Sorry, China, for putting you on blast. Although you do still have a lot of tiger farms over there. And bear bile. That's still kind of your thing. So, you know. I mean, you don't get a complete pass. But yeah, you're talking about water consumption. You're talking about dead zones. And then you're talking about massive amounts of land. Not just used for the grazing of these animals, but then you're talking about just ridiculous amounts of land that has to be used to grow the crops to feed these large numbers of livestock agricultural animals. Pretty much like whenever you see like a map of just like, this was like the Amazon rainforest in the 1960s, and this is the Amazon rainforest in 2015. Like most of that loss, the overwhelming majority of that loss is more than likely due to agriculture, to livestock agriculture. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, wow. We went in a lot of places, talked about a lot of meat, proteins, blood, and some uncomfortable topics. I understand. And I understand if some of you couldn't make it, but if you couldn't make it, then you're not going to make it to this point, so you wouldn't even hear my message and the thing that I'm, saying right now. So I don't even know why I'm saying this part, but I am. I hope you guys enjoyed the webcast. I mean, I hope you enjoy all the webcasts. Don't forget, hashtag Dorbist Award in the comment section. Title cards. Title cards. I'm still accepting title cards. Email them to me. My email's down in the thing. Or you can tweet my collab content creators. Collab. Hi, collab. Look at that. Micah is my channel manager. You can tweet her _ Micah Alyssa. Put it in the description. But you can tweet her, you can email me, and then I'll just forward it to her anyway. And then she'll do the tag, she'll do the title card. But yeah, still getting those, still accepting those. And it's not just for webcasts. Any video that you think could use a title card, make one. Be creative. Just, mess around with it. Have fun. Hashtag Dorbist Award. Hashtag Team BBs. Hashtag, oh my gosh, this webcast is so long. Talk to you later, folks. Bye-bye.